What's new, fathead?
We're continuing here on Action Figure Times with Wave 17 and the DC Universe Classics figures. Now, we're going to be looking at the number 2 figure in the wave, which is El Dorado, which you may or may not know is one of the figures that was planned for later waves of the Superpowers line. Unfortunately, the line got canceled before they could get made, and so all the geeks over at Mattel, of which that's not a slam, I'm one of the geeks as well, not at Mattel, but just plain geek. They wanted to go ahead and make sure that he got into the line this time. Now, personally, I could take this character or leave him. I don't care anything about him. I don't care that he's in there. I do think it's kind of interesting to me. He looks a little bit like Eric Estrada. Maybe that's because of that time period and stuff, but hey, I'll let you be the judge. Gives a little bit of bio that basically says we don't know very much about him, which means he didn't appear in the show very much. You know, he showed up for a couple episodes because they just needed some filler, I guess. Now, if you go ahead and pull him off, now this is going to have, he is the number 2 figure in the wave, and he is going to have the upper torso of Apache Chief. And you can kind of see that there. Kind of neat. Well, we'll show it to you close up when we do the final one. Now, he does have a kind of a rubbery cape on. It comes out pretty easily too. It's fairly flexible cape. Now you can tell right away because I think he's got some Aztec origins. He's got a lot of Aztec looking stuff around his belt. He's got some his hands look more. Now I will say this about the hands. I don't remember what his superpower was, but these don't look like gloves. These look like somebody took a can of spray paint and just spray painted them. Maybe that's because, I don't know, maybe he can convert his hands to gold or something. Let me just check here. Well, we'll have to get back to it because I threw the package too far away. But I think that looks kind of chintzy. I'll have to, maybe that is part of his power. If it is, then kudos. If it's not, then hey, you went cheap. He does have some good articulation. He moves around. Now, he does have a chest joint, but when I bend him, it does feel kind of, the little thing in the middle stretches. So that's good, but it almost felt like I was going to rip it there for a second. So, he doesn't want to yawn too much in the morning because he could come loose. When you look at it close up, I'll see if I can remember to show you that. The back, you can kind of see his joint there. Got an excellent arm joints. They haven't done anything new with the head joints, which I think they had said that they were going to do. This is the latest wave, and they still haven't done anything yet to give us a little bit more head rotation. He's obviously got a 80s haircut here. I think he should have had something a little bit more high and tight, but hey, not as high and tight as my head, but you know. Got lots of articulation in here. Does not have any of the double joints and stuff, but he really doesn't need it. But this should be a fun figure. Even got some detailing, the Aztec detailing on the back of his collar. But let's go ahead and look at him close up. Okay, so I looked at the back of the cover. I have to say that he doesn't, there's no reason for his hands just to be painted on here. Maybe, I mean, they should have at least been like gloves. Maybe there's something in the cartoon that I missed. I don't really remember the cartoon he was in. Very, very cool detailing on the belt. Very, very neat. And again, it stretches when you bend him back. So that's very, very cool. Excellent detailing there. He's got the little, you know, Eric Estrada looking face with the 80s haircut. Got the cape going on the back. Again, I just don't understand why they just made him. Maybe one of y'all can tell me that's seen the cartoon recently why they wouldn't just, like, it looks like they've tried to make them look like gloves. It's got a couple, like some pointy things around the edges, see that? But, I mean, it just does, to me, that's a failed attempt. Very, very, very nice looking figure, though, overall. Hi, I'm Doc Owen with Action Figure Times. Now, the final, I believe that from the final original wave, I think this is the last guy we need to complete the original Superpowers collection. which is Samurai. Now, Samurai to me was always, I don't know, he basically was Red Tornado, only from Japan. He had some other powers, invisibility, like Martian Manhunter and stuff. I think he's always been a cool-looking character, but we'll go ahead and he's got his knife. I don't know if you remember originally he had I thought it was a Chris knife, but it's actually kind of a lightning knife. That's kind of neat. Very, very cool thing. He comes with the left arm in there. You know, he talks about how he's a samurai with a code of honor. We actually know this guy's name. A lot of these guys that they just created for the show, we had no idea really who they were, but he was a professor. He can do, let's see, what was it? Summon strong winds that allow him to fly, knock down foes, summon flames, and cast illusions, invisibility. So, let's go ahead and open up our samurai friend. We got another arm from our Apache Chief. And we'll go ahead and pull Samurai out of here. Now, when we do the close-up, I'm going to go ahead and show you the him compared to his superpowers version. This sword is a pretty long deal for him. That's kind of wild. It fits about as well as the original one did too. Now, instead of the fabric like the original, this has that kind of foldy plastic, that real thin plastic that's kind of neat. He's got his top knot, which the samurai wore. It's not actually like a top knot. You know, that's actually supposed to be folded a little bit different. I don't know if you know that much about samurais, but it should be folded a little bit. But he's got the green looking thing going on. He's does not have the elbow articulation, the extreme articulation. Does not have the extreme knee articulation. Does his ankles and joints move. He can twist side to side, which is good since he's a you know, he's got that tornado bottom. I thought I could pull this off, but you cannot. I was going to take the tunic off, but it's pretty well on there. But this is actually a pretty cool figure. I think it's a great representation of the original, and I look forward to comparing him to the superpowers figure. So let's just go ahead and do our close-ups, and let's look at that. So now we're looking at Samurai, number 5 in the Wave 18. You can kind of see, it looks like he's got some blush on his cheeks there, in my opinion. I think it's a very, very cool sculpt. I would have liked to have seen, this is exactly like the old one, but I would have liked to have seen a regular Samurai top knot. This is pliable plastic, but it's not going to come off. You can see his wrist there. You can, now here's his clear sword. I think that's very, very cool. Very, very much longer than the original, I guess, than the original was. You can see in the back. Now here is the original. Now he actually had a cloth cape. He's got a little bit more Fu Manchu. Didn't have the little goatee that the new one has. You can kind of see how the band hooked around. Now he does have the swivel action on his hips. I'd like to see some of these actually have actions again. There's the sword between the two. The old one is just bright yellow. On the back, he actually had a complete, and this one has it kind of split, which I think the split might be more closer to the cartoon. You can see the back of the heads there. I think all in all, I think he's an excellent representation and a very, very cool figure, and I'm glad to have him. I think this is an excellent job. Well, this is Doc Owen with Action Figure Times, reminding you to be extraordinary. We will see you very, very soon. Make sure you subscribe, come to the website and see the up-close pictures, and check us out and leave a comment. We'd love to talk to you on our forums. Talk to you soon.